My name is Kevin Toll. I'm the principal of the Indian River School in Canaan, New Hampshire, and I've been the principal in this building for 14 years and 1 year at the high school. It's been my honor and privilege to serve this school district. Kids need to have a connection to school or to someone in the school. How do you prevent school shootings? There's connectedness to every student to someone in the building. If a student's not connected, doesn't feel connected, doesn't feel wanted or accepted, that's when you're going to have problems.
I think a trusted adult is someone that a student can go to if they're having any problems, whether it be socially or academically, someone that they can count on whenever they need something here at school.
I believe that a trusted adult means someone that you can talk to about your everyday problems and everything, like your feelings and emotions that you have trouble going on with.
I feel like a trusted adult would be someone that you can convey whether you have any concerns, or even if whether it's positive or negative, you're able to convey how your day is going. You can talk to that individual. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're extremely close with them, but there's a level of respect that you have where you trust them as a person.
The teacher is special and important because I feel like I can trust them. They make sure I'm okay with wanting to talk. They see if I want to be alone or not. They respect it if I want privacy.
Was a nationally done survey of students in high schools, and they were trying to figure out, talking about the mental health crisis that's going on in social emotional health in schools and better ways to support students. And they've really found that if students have a trusted adult, somebody that they feel like they can go to with problems that are above, I haven't turned in my homework today, or are just different from, this is why I'm late, and have somebody they can talk to about the things that they're really concerned about and really thinking about, it helps them to process the rest of their day and the rest of the things that they have going on at school. And so then they were talking to students about who do you go to, and they found out that an overwhelming number of students in schools didn't have anybody that they felt comfortable with. It didn't mean that the adults weren't there. It just meant that the students didn't feel comfortable going to one of the adults in the building. And I thought that was really important to look at and address. It doesn't mean anybody was doing anything wrong. It just means that, perhaps that there are different ways to communicate with students and reach out to them so they felt comfortable.
I think that this is an area in education that needs a great deal of focus. I know there are a number of young men and women who don't have someone outside of school that they can trust. And I think as educators, that has to be one of our main goals, because they don't care what you know until they know that you care.
I would imagine that we are better than that. I think I have had a number of students 3 times in 4 years. I know I've had almost all of my students at least twice. So the relationship you can build over time is huge.
Coaching football and teaching makes both of those much easier. You're at sporting events, you're invested in what the student is invested in. And I've actually learned a lot about different sports clubs. I was in a musical. I have no business being in a musical. Thankfully I didn't sing, but I had a student ask me, and I'm not going to say no to a kid.
Do you feel like you have a good relationship with your teachers?
Well, yes, I do. They just make me feel comfortable when I'm around them. I can ask them anything. My wrestling coach, he pushes me as far as I can go, and because he wants me the best ability I can.
I would say that there are probably days where, I would be less motivated to come in if I didn't have practice after school, or if I didn't have X activity.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Mr. McPhee. He knows how to make me happy. when we were sitting in the library and he came in and let us go to the gym with his class so we didn't have to sit and do work.
I have to say Miss Fisher. I just feel like when I go into her room, she's the most supportive and welcoming.
One time, Miss Green, we were doing a math activity and she made sure that everyone could put a song on a playlist so we could all listen to music we like.
I feel that if I need just to take a break from class, that I'm able to go to them and they help me calm down.
I see a lot of different connections between different teachers happen between sports and clubs, etc. I would say that they have a motivation and willingness to pay attention to their students.
If you have a good advisor-advisee program, it's everybody in the building. For that one trusted adult, it could be a custodian. It could be a coach. It could be the drama production. It could be an advisor of a National Honor Society. It could be anyone. So their role is just as vital, all the way down to a custodian, the people in the lunchroom, the lunch ladies that cook our food. Everyone is involved. Everyone is a piece of this student's life for 7 hours a day, 180 days a year.
I do think that attending, community events such as homecoming or, sporting events here, not only do you get to interact with the students, but you also get to interact with their parents, and they see you, they sort of see you on sort of a different level during those times.
The balance that Mascoma does with strict rules for students to keep them safe and then to help keep them happy as well is by offering students several options. They have different places that students can go in order to feel safe or comfortable, because that feels different to different students. And to have all of those different options, they have great opportunities. They have the AV club, which is beneficial to students who may not feel like going to sports or may not feel like going to a specific class or an academic club. They can come to AV club and do that, and they have lots of different clubs and different sports and different outlets and just different locations. Students can go to the music room, or they can go to the library, or they can come and meet with their ELO teacher. So it's whatever makes them comfortable, and I think that makes a big difference, is giving students lots of options so they can decide what's comfortable for them instead of telling them this is where you're going to feel comfortable, you go here.
The cafeteria is not conducive to anything other than hanging out, which is fine, but if that's not the point of it. So having study hall in classrooms, I think is better for getting the work done. Also better for, again, it's another opportunity to make a relationship. And actually it's a fairly low stress relationship, because you're not doing necessarily my work in my class. I am here to facilitate you getting things done. So yeah, no, I'm a big fan of it.
One of the things I know at Indian River School is we have a very active advisory program. And I think that advisory program does give some students that trusted adult in their life.
A good middle school, we will look for those avenues where we can have more fun. A good example of that was knowing that the week before Christmas, it's going to be chaos and a lot of anxiety and anxiousness, both positive and negative, coming up to the holiday, that we try to do fun activities in the afternoon. And then the Friday before, we had our Student of the Month assembly. We had all kinds of fun activities for the kids to enjoy. It needs to be fun. We need to laugh with kids. We need to be able to joke with kids. You can't be just a top-down adult, do it because I said so. You've got to be able to laugh and joke with them as well. We try to do that.
I think that to be an effective educator, you have to have your students occasionally laugh. I've always been a believer of, if I can make you laugh, I can make you learn.
I do believe we do things that is different and more special than other schools, because we have more fun teachers and they understand us better.
fix the trusted adult issue would be individual to every school. That's like saying fixing a national issue is not going to be fixed by this one thing that everybody does the same. Every school is different. Every reason students don't feel like they have a trusted adult is different. But we can address it at Mascoma, and I feel like we're doing a good job at that.
For a math teacher, my mode is I gotta get this. I have to give this assessment, that assessment. And it's from comparing to my beginning years of teaching. Middle school philosophy allowed us to have activity periods, fun times, but the educational shift is now test score, which I don't think benefits kids.
In our building, and I'm proud to say this, we care. There's no saying nobody cares to know what you know until they know that you care. And I feel that every one of these students knows that myself, Mr. Limero, all my other assistant principals that I've been able and blessed to work with, we care. We take an active interest in what they're doing after school, during school. Some of the kids that can't behave themselves in class are the ones that are getting removed or taking time outs and reflections. We spend a lot of time, we invest a lot of energy where we get to know them. And they get to know us on a personal level. Sometimes it scares them, but they know that we're invested in them. And I think that's something that we should take pride in.
Putting yourself in a situation to be a trusted adult is knowing when you yourself as an educator be vulnerable and share your personal experiences that might relate to what students are going through. And that can be uncomfortable for adults, that can be uncomfortable for teachers. But I think it tends to build that relationship a little bit stronger.
I feel like it's a large part of my job is to just be available to students if they need to come in and talk about maybe a personal issue, a family issue.
I think it's important to build a rapport with the students, even if it's in a disciplinary role. Sometimes I might not be their favorite person to see, but I think they can know that they can start fresh with me. I have a clean slate.
My overall goal is that we nurture students at this age, big transformation from grade 5 to 8, and help them in their development and growth at this level. Whether it is academics, and I know we're a school and it should be academic, yes, but there's also social emotional. It's also about something we call ego strength. A lot of kids are looking for that piece within them that they excel at. Everybody excels at something. And that's part of what I feel our mission is, to find that piece that they excel at, even if it's something outside of our academics. Okay, so outside our building and outside our school, can we somehow embrace that and celebrate that with the student? So that if they have the ego straight, they can take the failures, they can take the mistakes that they make, that there are consequences that come for it. Without that ego strength, we're just beating them down.
I do think there's a good balance, and especially thinking back to myself as a teacher in 4th grade at EVS, I tried to have as much fun as I could in the classroom, and I can see that translated here at the middle school as well.
Well, when there's a time to be serious, and I think the kids read me well, but it's important to get through the material. But there is time where we're goofy, and so there has to be that balance, or you'll lose a kid.
I think it's kind of always sad when there are some kids who don't feel that they have any connections. And I'm not sure how to make those happen, but the more places and spaces where you can interact with kids, I think that it all goes to the good.
Some high schools turn up like colleges where you don't know the kids in your class. You're a name on a piece of paper. And as unfortunate it is, we have a teacher shortage across the nation. So I think that number is only going to get bigger, unfortunately. I think it's going to come down to classroom sizes and how interconnected teachers are willing to be with extracurriculars, whether it be sports, theater, musicals.
small community. It's hard to go anywhere without seeing students. How many of them are kind of happy to see you and talk to you? I worked in a big school for a while, and there were kids who would like see you out, and they would I don't want to talk to a teacher. My gosh.
If they need a day to just veg, so do I. So I'm not gonna hammer on kids for taking a mental day.
Like, I know kids, they got so many things on their plate that a teacher you hear about, like, oh wow, like, then you understand where it could be coming from. But again, as we talked about earlier, when my mind said I gotta get A, B, C, D, E, F, G done with the kids, and you say, oh wait, they're a kid.
They're not just students, they're whole people.
I guess my number one goal would to be that every student understands that they have the potential to achieve whatever it is they want, but they just have to work hard to get there.
Number one goal of the teacher is I want to see kids improve, not by their scores, but as a person. I know academics are important for me as a teacher, but there's their social, and I just want kids to be happy.
My number one goal as an educator, help students get to where they want to be post-grad.
On an individual level, I want all of my students to be able to be successful, and I want them to be happy, because I think that if you enjoy what you do, that gives your life purpose, and it becomes the purpose of your life. And I think that that's an important thing to kind of keep in mind.
I think it's one of the most important things. We want our students to be happy, that we want them to want to come to school. So I think that's something that our teachers value, as well as administration. We want everyone that's in this building to be happy.
What does supporting kids mean to you personally?
Everything. Whether it be food, whether it be clothes, school supplies, whether it be emotional support, whether it be, again, globally, anything they need.